In this video, I'd like to take a minute and describe three key things about application layers. Where do they live? How are they created? And what do they look like to the Windows desktop when an application layer is applied? Well, where they live is fairly simple. Let's start with that. The application layers are just VHDXs, virtual machine disk drives, that reside out on a file system, either a shared file system or a local file system to a server. If I was to dig into the folder structure that Unidesk creates, you would see a series of folders for individual application layers. Digging into any individual one, and you'll see a VHDX file. These are thin provisioned VHDXs that contain the file system objects and registry entries that are different from the gold image. These virtual hard drives are attached to the virtual machine, and the file system and registry entries are blended together to present it into the desktop as if it was locally installed. What does it look like in the desktop? Well, if we start with Adobe, you can see my Adobe Flash and Reader applications that were part of the Adobe VHD I just looked at look like they're installed. They show up in Add Remove Programs, and if we jump out into Program Files, you'll actually see that Adobe Reader, its source files, its executables, all show up here. If we were to drop into the registry and look there, its registry entries would be there, its file associations, its plugins into the browsers would all be there. So to the desktop, it looks like someone has installed this application locally in the image, but actually it's a shared VHDX sitting on a file system. The best thing about application layers is how they're created. From within the Unidesk management tool, admins can create and update application layers and assign them to desktops. Creating an application layer just requires access to our interface and the ability to install the application. Regardless of the app, you select Create a Layer. It starts a wizard. You give it a name. Give it a version for the app. This could be the actual application version or an internal version for the package. You select an operating system you wish to build it for. And then you can choose any prerequisite apps. These just happen to be apps that your new application layer might depend on. So if I was installing an Office plugin, I would just select my Office package so that it shows up there and it's ready to install. Browse out and give it a pretty icon and click Create a Layer. What that'll actually do is boot a virtual machine. The admin, the IT help desk, whoever is installing the app simply logs into that machine and installs the app. Layers are essentially file system and registry virtualization, and since we understand all the changes that are already being made, all you have to do is install the app. No pre-scan, no post-scan, no how do I get the file associations down. We will capture every change made to that image, place it in its own layer. You can then assign it to all the desktops you want. It's a very simple model for application packaging and allows you to reduce the amount of time spent and the level of IT staff needed to do your application packaging for virtual desktops.